Hey everyone, I'm Master Coach Gretchen Heido and the author of Break Free from Your Dirty Little Secrets. So what's a secret? All of us think that we know, right? Secrets are something that we're hiding, that we're using to protect ourselves or to protect others. And here's the thing about secrets. They're making us sick, spiritually, emotionally, and physically. Secrets have three parts. The first part is the secret action that you took. It's the thing that you did. And oftentimes, it's actually not a secret at all because other people know that it's happened. Maybe not the world at large, but at least one or two other people, and always you know what you've done. Part two of the secret is the narrative. It's the story that you tell yourself about who you are because of the action that you've taken. This is the most damaging part of the secret. And here's why. We live up to our narrative. So if we have a secret that, let's say in your early 20s, you had an abortion, and your story and that narrative is that you never deserved to be a mother or to be in a loving relationship, you're going to keep yourself out of situations to really be liked, loved, and valued. You might even avoid being a mother at some point, even if you desperately desire having children. Or let's say that your secret action is that you filed for bankruptcy. And the secret narrative that you're saying to yourself is that you're not good with money, you don't deserve to have it, and that you don't want anyone to know because they won't respect you. The secret story narrative actually keeps us in a box, and it keeps us living adjacent to our great big life because we're keeping a cage around ourselves because of this narrative. Sound familiar? Can anyone relate? Third part of this, the secret 1, 2, 3 punch, is our childhood conditioning. And it's the reason that we keep secrets in the first place. All of us want to be liked, valued, and loved. And we learn that currency in early childhood. And so in my book, Break Free from Your Dirty Little Secrets, I give you a 10-step secret breaking system to really be able to take a look at your individual secrets from the big, the small, the ones that seem harmless to the ones that seem like they're causing harm. And what we do is we take them one step at a time in a loving, forgiving, and gentle way that's going to help you stop living in your adjacent life, the good enough life, and step into your great big life so that you can start doing the thing that you're really made to do. As a first step, what I'd love for you to think about is, what is that secret? What's the one that you really don't want people to know? And if they did, you're really nervous about what they would think about you. Think about that for a minute. In my book, I share about one of my own secrets. You know, in my early 20s, I was a little bit violent. I went after my husband in a church with a key. I was very upset that he had abandoned me. That's what the feeling felt like, to go upstairs while I had a broken foot. When he came back downstairs, I chased him and I pinned him up against the car and I wanted to put the key through his neck. Now, I didn't do it, but the secret narrative had me stabbing him in my head. It told me that I was violent, it said I wasn't good enough, it said I didn't deserve to be in a marriage, and it said I certainly never should have kids because I'd probably be abusive. It also said that I didn't deserve friends. It told me that my personality was too big and that my feelings were out of control. And I lived under that for a long time. It kept me separate. It kept me alone. It kept me from wanting to connect. It kept me from really connecting with my husband because in my head, I thought he'd end up divorcing me or that I'd divorce him. I also didn't trust myself. And that was all from that one secret. The childhood conditioning behind it was a little bit trickier. You know, I had some faulty wiring, and in the book we go through what's your faulty wiring. And my faulty wiring was that violence in some way equaled love. My dad was one of these guys who was bad to the bone. When my parents were in the middle of a divorce, my dad came over one night to protect us from something that was happening. He was wearing his steel-toed boots and had a hatchet. And what that did for me was it made me think that in some ways, whenever you got violent, it meant that you were protected and that it proved that somebody loved you. Now, it doesn't need to make sense. I know rationally that my husband didn't abandon me that day in the church. And I know rationally that going after him while I'm on crutches and wanting to stab him in the neck with a key is not an okay reaction. It's too big and it makes no sense. But what I also uncovered was that I was chasing a root feeling I wanted to belong and I wanted to be a part of. But that behavior and that faulty wiring were getting me the exact opposite of what it is that I said I wanted. And this, ladies, is the reason that I wrote the book. We all have secrets. They have so many tentacles. We have to slow them down and really take the time that each secret deserves to see why you did it, what it tells you about you and the false narrative, what it's keeping you from, and how it was planted there in the first place. The good news, we are not our secrets. The other good news, other women have lived your secrets. While the details may or may not be the same, the feelings of shame, guilt, not being good enough, and not being liked, loved, and wanted by ourselves, or thinking that others don't want to like, love, or want us, are all the same. And what I hope that you'll do is take a moment, think about your secret, write it down. What did you do? Slow it down. What's the secret story that you tell yourself? Then take another moment, look at it even further, the part 3 of the punch, of the 1, 2, 3 punch, and ask yourself, how did I get this coping mechanism to behave in this way in the first place? Those are the first steps in unraveling your secret, telling the truth about who you really are, and getting clear about why you became a secret keeper in the first place. Ladies, there's a lot of hope. You're going to be fine, and I hope to see you back here soon.